Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my channel. It's Sunday. This is the day the Lord hath made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today is Sunday, and it is the Lord's Day, and it says in the Bible that we should rest on the Sabbath. We should not go out and work, and we should rest on the Sabbath. That's when God rested. After he created the world and the animals and everything, he rested on the seventh day. He took a break, all right? Well, let's talk a little bit about that. What is the Sabbath to you? Is it Sunday? The popular societal doctrines state that it's Sunday. But my belief is Sunday could be, your Sabbath could be any day. Your Sunday could be any day. It's a day of rest to reflect on all that you've done through the week. What you have accomplished, has it been appealing in God's eyes? That's my Sabbath, to reflect and on how the week went. And that brings me to doctrinated religion. Doctrinated religion, all right? I'm a spiritual person. I'm not religious. I grew up in a Baptist church. I raised my children in a Baptist church. I'm not Baptist, Catholic, non-denominational, Pentecostal. That's my world. That's what's in the United States. And then there's Mormons and Jehovah's Witness, and we have a lot of Indians and Buddha people and Chinese, and we have all different nationalities. We have a lot of different nationalities with different types of religion. I don't profess to know all about all the religions. I just know my religion, and that's my backyard. Is Baptist. The Baptist doctrinated religion. You have to do this, you have to do that. I grew up in a Baptist as a child. I got married. I raised my children while I was up north in a Free Will Baptist. I moved south, and I moved into another Baptist church. So my children just been around Baptist teaching their whole life. They have a lot of rules. Rules. Man-doctrinated rules. For instance, you have to be baptized to be a member of a Baptist church that I went to. And I can't speak for all Baptist churches, but the ones I went to, you had to be baptized to be a member of their church. Do you know how many times I've been baptized? Let's count them. When I was 10 years old, I was baptized in a river up north, okay? 10. One time there. Again, when I was in my 30s, I was baptized again. Those were two, I believe, those two times were two soulful baptisms that I needed and I wanted for soulful purposes. And the third time I was baptized was not for a sole purpose. It was to become a member of a church. That's typically, for me, hypocritical in my spirit. It's hypocritical in my spirit. But I was conforming, having young children, I was conforming to, man's doctrinated rules about what you have to do to be a member, because I wanted my children to be raised in a conforming, doctrinated church. Okay? They went to this school that was attached to the church, and I wanted to be in the clique. So I conformed to man's doctrinated religion. That was the third time I was baptized. So, 2 of those were really needed in my heart. 2 of those baptisms were needed. One was a hypocritical baptism, I guess you could say. A hypocritical baptism? What's that? Anyway, all my children are baptized, and, that's as far as I can go. But since I moved to Florida, now when I was in Michigan at 10 years old and had my first baptism, that was a soulful baptism. And that I'm very thankful for, that baptism. And the second time I went back into the world after 10 years old, and you know how that goes, and you get in the world and you do some crazy things and make a lot of mistakes and get away from the Lord. But the second time, I took all my luggage up to that altar when I got saved again. I took it all up to the altar to get saved again. I needed that, and I needed that baptism, and I needed to go rededicate my life to God. The third time, I'm in this clique here, and I've got to do it this way and that way and what man says. So now then I moved to Kentucky, and I'm in this church with this school, and it's a Christian school in this church, and I'm following their man's rules, and I'm falling away from my spirit, my soul, because I'm following man's rules and guidelines instead of God's. So I come to Florida. My soul is searching for, it's just searching for some type of church, a building that I can walk into and find peace, like I felt in Michigan when the second time I got baptized, and the first time I got baptized. I want that feeling again. And I thought going into a church with a steeple, if I opened the doors, I would see all the people that would bring me back to when I really rededicated my life to God. So I went to this church here in Florida when my kids were still in high school, and the church in Kentucky called this church down here and recommended this church. So we went to it because the church in Kentucky said to go to it. It's the same doctrine, Baptist. And my kids were still in high school and blah, blah, blah. And we went to that church over here in Florida. And, so cold and distant again because there's no spirit touching my soul. So the kids grew up, got out of high school. We stayed in that church till they graduated and moved on with their life. And then we quit going to church, my husband and I. And then we got even colder in the Lord. And then something would spark my spirit again. And I would say, I need to go find another church. So we church hopped. I've been to about every church in Ocala. Every church, Baptist, non-denominational, and Pentecostal. I've been to quite a few. And my spirit's starting to speak again. the Holy Spirit's starting to speak again to go, 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 go. And I have prayed since I left Michigan for God to place me somewhere where I could be a benefit to those. A benefit and help others spiritually. You know, you go to church to feed. When you leave church, you're going in the mission field. When church is over, you're going out into the mission field and you're around a bunch of people that don't know the Lord, and it's your job being a Christian to, you know, impact them on the ways of the Lord. That's your desire when you're a Christian. It just automatically happens. You want to do that because that's the Holy Spirit that lives inside you when you get born again. So sometimes, you know, I'll get cold and I'll forget about that feeling, and then that feeling will come back, and I'll look again, and I'll look again, and I'll go again, and I'll go again. So I don't know what else to do. I don't know where else to go here, because I think I've been to all the churches, you know, I could think of here in Ocala. I think I've been to about every one that, you know, that I can think of. So I'll keep praying. The Lord will find me a place where I can go get my spirit fed. And because I do love preaching and listening to the word, and the gospel music I love, and live singing, and oh man, when I was in Michigan and I was in that Free Will Baptist Church in Michigan, my party time was going to a gospel singing. That was my party time. I loved it, and that was my joyful life. But we'll get into why I left in another video, probably, because that is one of the biggest regrets of my life. So I'm sitting here on my way to work. It's Sunday. This is the Lord's Day, and I'm thinking of church, and everybody is getting up now and getting ready, getting dressed to go. Well, maybe they're not. People don't get dressed up to go to church anymore, but I always did. So if you watch this video today and you see it's Sunday, and if you're sitting in church, or if you're getting ready to go to church, or if it's after church and you're going to go to the PM service, the night service, say a little prayer for me. The Lord will guide me to a spirit-filled church where I'll feel like I just walked home. If not, it must not be meant to be. God doesn't put you somewhere. Well, I put myself here, but God doesn't keep you somewhere. He won't keep you somewhere if it's not His will. We have a free will, and we make choices in our life. And if it goes against the will of God, there will be no peace, there'll be conflict, there'll be struggles. And so, as I'm getting ready to pull into work today, I just want the Lord's will to work in my life from here on out, because I'm looking for peace and contentment. So, with that being said, pray for me that I'll find a place, or the Lord's will work in my life. That's all I'm asking. Because if God's will is working in my life, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Take care, everybody. If you see somebody today without a smile, give them one of yours, because you know what? just might be the only one they get. Bye.